Good evening, and welcome to another episode of The Unexpected Detour, where in life detours are inevitable. And tonight, I would like to discuss the, the trauma that Tyre Nichols went through, the trauma and the torment, because he was tortured and he was just killed. So I'm going to just start with this. That we cannot call this a race card. There is no race card to call for the simple fact of the matter. This was black on black crime. So there is no race. Because those 5 black police officers that sustained these injuries and caused his demise were all black. Let's remember that. And then the activists. We need the activists. Where are you? They need to come out. They come out now. But this happened way before this. And I'm sure people knew about this, okay? But they kept it quiet for 10 days. All right. And Black Lives Matter, they have been very quiet. And they've been quiet because this is a black on black crime, not a black on white crime. So I'm trying to figure out, why aren't they out there? It's not about black, white, red, green, yellow life. It's about all lives. So you need to change it from black lives to all lives. And I'm going to tell you why, because a lot of those people that are out there marching with you and that stand for you and that have given probably to your organization, wherever the money goes, other than in people's pockets, they have not been only black. They have been every spectrum of the races out there marching for police injustices that are done to our men and our women. They are out there. Okay. Now I'll get along. This incident happened on January 7th, 2023 at 10:30. That is not when it started, but the beating, that's when it started. Because you have to understand, the group that was out there was called the Scorpion Police Squad, which stands for Street Crimes Organization, Street Crimes Operations to restore peace in our neighborhood, which they did nothing but cause a death in the neighborhood. They were 5 black officers, and there were 2 white ones when it first starts. And it starts with this allegedly a traffic incident. We don't know what it was, but we know it wasn't true, this traffic incident. And they had their body cameras on because you could hear them. You hear one laughing, So the body cameras were on during the initial part of the incident. That much I know because you can hear it. But then they chased him. And where he runs to is not far from where his mom lives. So apparently they have street cameras up there. Street camera was on. Street cameras, you see it going slowly. Starts at 10:28 p.m. and it slowly moves over. And as it moves over, it captures the whole thing. It is there from 10:33 to 10:03. So Tyree is there. He's beaten. He's kicked. He's hit with a baton, and you see it. And I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I had to go back and watch this again because it was those 5 officers that did it. But guess what? More were there. And I guess those were the ones that were hanging out with them in the beginning. They ended up coming. And then at 10:43, after they've beat him, and he's laid there for a while, and he becomes a spectacle, like he's on an exhibition, then you see the paramedics come. Don't see the paramedic van, but they are there. No ambulance van there, but you see them with the bags. They come out there, put the bag down, look at him. You see him pick him up. He falls back down and does absolutely nothing. How heartless. You're supposed to be saving lives. You have one saving lives, one protecting lives that put somebody's life in danger because you felt you didn't have any responsibility to the person lying on the floor. And we know the police officer, they didn't, because otherwise they would not have beat him to a pulp. And for the ambulance, that ambulance to be there for all that time is a shame. Although I did see about 10 people out there, it might be 9, but I counted 10. But nobody, anything. It was like he was the runaway slave. He ran away from his master. He was caught, tortured, and laid there to die. That is what I saw. Like the runaway slave, the master. And you always have the other guys that chase after the runaway slave. They kick him, they abuse him like he's a piece of trash. He's somebody's child. And that was what was sad and hurtful. This is somebody's child that you had no regard to their life. None. And in 3 days after he sustained these beatings, he passes away. Okay. Now, I have to give credit to C.J. Davis, which she worked expeditiously at handling this. She worked at it, she investigated it, and she made sure she had all her ducks in a row. But then when you go back and you check her background, she has also had a squad in Atlanta that had to be disbanded for the exact same reason. So what is it about these units? I don't know. They're supposed to be protecting the neighborhood, but they're not. They're causing more drama and hurt to a neighborhood. I mean, I did some checking on one of the officers, come to find out that his ex-girlfriend worked with this Tyre Nichols. Now, if they had something going on, I don't know. I'm not the fly in the wall. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is they worked together, and that police officer who used to date this ex-girlfriend who worked with him had the audacity to take a picture and send it to her. Now that was raggedy. So that tells me that maybe all of this was a matter of a rage of jealousy. I'm beginning to think it is. It is in a rage of jealousy. He wanted, he broke up with this girl. The girl didn't want to be with him. She starts talking to Tyre. He finds out. So he's acting like a jealous lover that is like, I am going to get you back. So you get him back by killing somebody. And that's what I'm going to say. And I have a suggestion. I think all the police chiefs in the nation, they need to have a meeting of how they're going to handle all of these incidents. Excuse me, because they're getting out of hand. And I think police officers, even the chiefs, need to go for some mental evaluations, not on a monthly basis, but how about every 2 weeks? Because I'm sure of what you see in the street is traumatic. I'm sure that when you kill somebody, it is something that stays with you and you can't function. You cannot become desensitized to it. But is that what's happening? That they're becoming so desensitized to these killings that they don't care? Or is it what they call the badge and the shield and the gun that makes them feel like they have authority over everything? And that's it. I had a relative like that. They were a police officer, badge, shield, and a gun. And, you felt like, hey, I can do it because this is what I do. Anyway, we're going to leave that here. But today is the first day of Black History Month, and I wanted to come on here, and I was holding this because I wanted to talk about this because it bothered me. And I wanted to give my prayers to the family of Tyre Nichols and his child. And I pray that God will watch over and protect our children because each one of us is somebody's child. Each one of us, we didn't get here by ourselves. We had parents. Our parents love us, and nobody wants to bury their child. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight and thank you for tuning in to the Unexpected Detour. Have a good one.